Our discoveries, our inventions should not master us. So your own creativity should not be at the cost of the artificial intelligence or whatever technologies you have. So better is to contain it and be its master, not get yourself enslaved by it. Yeah, wherever you have a dire need of artificial intelligence, like you have medicine, you have education, you have other research, please do it.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today we are going to talk about the new, excited and most talked about topic, that is AI, artificial intelligence. If we talk about the artificial intelligence, it is the stimulation of human intelligence in machines to think, learn, or to take decisions. AI transformed industries like education, healthcare, communication, and business. But it is new to us in this era, AI. And every innovation or every discovery has two sides. On the one hand, an innovation or a discovery, particularly an innovation, brings prosperity, solutions to many problems, and comfort. But on the other hand, it also creates challenges, risks, and even misuse. Same is the case with the AI. And for this, today I am honored to be joined, as usual, by Mr. Kaiser Shafi Shah, Senior Lecturer, Boys Higher Secondary School, Bond. Sir, as I already announced the topic and mentioned a small briefing about the topic, and my first question is to you: how do you see the AI affecting the people's lives, daily lives, even in a small way?
Well, thank you very much, Irshad Saab, for always having me on this beautiful podcast. The thing is, so far the artificial intelligence is concerned, it has completely revolutionized the world. That's very much known to everybody. But does it mean that we are gonna get handicapped and our own inventions, own discoveries are gonna master us and we are gonna serve them? It is better to always master things other than to have the things taken by as servants. So our discoveries, our inventions should not master us. The thing is, so far the artificial intelligence is concerned, it has got its merits, it has got its positives, but at the same time, like every invention has it has its positives, its negatives. But the negatives should not overwhelm the positives. As long as you have the positives and negatives in balance, things go beautifully, in a very streamlined way. But once something which is your own invention, which is your own making, own draft, own architecture, starts mastering you, then it's basically an alarming, sign, alarming sign to wake up and think before you can, somewhat drive your life through these innovations and sophistications. Artificial intelligence, if it is used in that particular perspective, until we make somewhat a comfortable use of it and we feel somewhat more convenience about using it, it's fine. But once we cross a particular limit, it's going to have a very dire consequence faced by the humans. And this is just the start, the beginning of the stride towards which we are going. But if we don't limit ourselves and put brakes on our leash, we are gonna get somewhat, uncontrollably on, and then that is basically an irreversible process. Once you go there, it's hard to revert from that particular point.
As your points are concerned, sir, viewers, we must think of it before embracing it fully. We should explore the positive and negative sides of the new innovations like AI. But if you want to give a piece of advice to the students or the professionals who are preparing for AI-driven future, what would it be?
Well, that's fine. The things have revolutionized us. I'm not against the sophistications, the information technology, and the information revolution. I'm not against it. It has revolutionized our living, our life. But limits are there. Limits have not to be crossed. If, for example, you have a child at home and he does or she does all different aspects of our learning or his learning through AI, modes of communication or modes of drafting, modes of learning things and so on, then his or her own psyche gets somewhat sabotaged. It gets somewhat down. It gets undermined. Then that kind of impediment that you are putting to your brain and making it not to exercise its efforts to make things happen the way they were in the past, then human brain is gonna get hijacked or it is gonna get corrupted at the hands of these kinds of technologies. So as long as we balance it, fine, no issues. But the creativity of the human brains has not to be put at the cost of the so-called innovations or artificial intelligence. My students especially, a piece of advice for them will be, do whatever you can, but it should be only for giving you a kind of supplement, rather than putting your own brain at risk and stopping being creative, stopping being I can say putting the efforts, strenuous efforts to get the things done. So your own creativity should not be at the cost of the artificial intelligence or whatever technologies you have. I'm not against phone use. Phone has beautiful applications, but those have to be used to supplement you, to give you an additional kind of edge, not to have your own brain, in the sleeping mode, and the technology doing all different things for you. That's my advice to my students.
Actually, you tell that it should not be used at the cost of human intelligence.
Yes.
Creativities get killed if we totally depend on the.
You
these
should
things.
try to make artificial intelligence more and more developing, more and more advanced, and for that your brain should be always at the forefront, not the technology at the forefront and your brain at the back end. If your brain is at the back end, it's gonna prove devastating for the entire human race, and the day is not far when all different technologies are somewhat gonna hijack us, and we will not be able to take ourselves out of that particular quagmire in which we will be forced to get drowned into. That's my advice to the students.
Sir, my next question is to you. How do you see this AI-driven world before 10 years, 10 years from now? How do you see the world?
It's gonna,
With AI fully integrated.
it's gonna completely give a kind of new set of wings to the world. What we have not thought until now. I remember my childhood days when I was in the matriculation. I basically had my hand on a book in the library of my school, Woodlands. So it was basically regarding the science fiction. And when I went through that particular book, I saw different kinds of things were forecast by those authors, by those science fiction writers, that these and these technologies are gonna come after 20 years and they are gonna revolutionize the entire world. That time, I was, not me only, everybody was laughing at that particular stuff, what they have written. So the computers were there, mobiles were there, video calling was there, other different things were there, put in the book. But nobody could, imagine those things in that particular era. But after 20 years, everything was there. Similarly, as of now, we see a much bigger magnified vision of the technologies. Say 20 years, 10 years here from. But the thing is, it's gonna be multiplied, by 10, multiplied by 20, what we have now, in our current times. But the thing is, the only mantra is there that has to be kept in mind, that technologies have to be somewhat tamed. They have not to be unleashed like those I can say dogs, stray dogs who are unleashed and who then create havoc in the entire system. So better is to contain it and be its master, not get yourself enslaved by it.
We should not try to be slaved of these.
Yes, we have to be always masters. We can't be servants.
We can take the help of these tools.
Take help because
but,
you make it
not
for
at the cost of the human intelligence.
you make them
or-
for your own convenience. You make them for your own convenience. As long as that is done, do it and honestly do it. But don't let your mind get rusted, rotten at the hand of or at the at the cost of at the price of these technologies, at the advancement of these technologies. So these things have to be somewhat ensured. These have to be made sure. Then you can make whatever advancements you can go for it. And why not to make advancements in such kinds of fields where the actual humanity gets benefited. You are using your artificial intelligence in warfare, that is against the humanity. Use the artificial intelligence where it is massively required. We have hospitals where the common people are not able to afford for their ailments, so they are somewhat shown the door there. Then they die, because of their not being able to cover the expenses. So that predicament, that plight of them being in the poverty or misery has to be, somewhat redressed with the artificial intelligence. That is how we can make it usable and beneficial for the human consumption. Otherwise, if you make them for warfares, for different kinds of such departments and kinds of segments where humanity is basically always at risk, something is done and the humanity is at loss, such things should be avoided. Where the things have not to be let we are masters. We have to always make sure that we are the masters, they are the servants. Wherever you have a dire need of artificial intelligence, like you have medicine, you have education, you have other research, please do it to the hilt. But other things which are anti-humanity should be somewhat curtailed to the maximum limits.
Means nothing can replace the human resource.
Who says no? Who says no? No, there is no replacement to the human resource. What humans can do, nobody can do it. But it has to be that way. Nowadays, I feel that we have become completely enslaved. We have become completely imprisoned at the hands of the technology. And there is not a strong control which we can exercise to make ourselves feel better. Our children are basically at a problem. They are given the mobile phone, but the apps are there such which are somewhat addictive apps. Your children become addictive. That's where you are misusing the technology. If you make such apps where your children get massively benefited with the technology, that is where everybody will salute you. But once you make such games, you make gambling on the internet, you make those games on the internet which are very addictive, things become somewhat out of control, and then we start depending on our system. We then curse ourselves. The society has become that way, system has become that way, but it is we who are responsible for all this nonsense. We have to always use technology in a proactive way, not in the anti working way.
I think your points are concerned. It will yield a good results if the students will follow. If the present students of this institution or the other institutions will follow the same while using these technology. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure always. Thank you very much.